In the previous spotlight, we talked about agentive and generative AI as a new class of enterprise risk. In this segment, I want to take that one step further, because once AI begins to act with agency inside the enterprise, the nature of enterprise value itself starts to change. For decades, investors and boards have relied on relatively stable assumptions that enterprise value is anchored in people, in processes, in intellectual property, and predictable systems of control. AI disrupts all four simultaneously. Generative and agentive systems increasingly participate in strategic formulation, market signaling, pricing decisions, hiring and termination, compliance judgments, external communications, and many other corporate decisions. In some cases, these systems influence outcomes more than any individual executive. Yet they do so without any fiduciary duty, without legal personality, and without moral agency. This creates a blind spot in modern governance. Boards ask whether management made the right decision. Regulators ask whether policies were followed. Investors ask whether controls exist. But no one is asking a more fundamental question. What happens when decisions emerge from systems rather than people? From an investor perspective, this matters because risk is no longer linear. It is emergent. Small model behaviors can cascade into outsized outcomes, reputational, operational, or legal, without any single triggering event. There is no memo, no rogue executive, no clear inflection point. Consider valuation. Traditional diligence evaluates code quality, data integrity, cybersecurity posture, regulatory exposure, and many other issues. But agentive AI introduces an entirely different question. How much of this company's value depends on automated trust? Trust in outputs, trust in recommendations, trust in signals that guide human judgment. When trust is embedded in systems that learn, adapt, and optimize, it becomes volatile. And volatile trust produces volatile valuations. There is also a second-order risk that many investors have not yet internalized. Agentive AI systems can be manipulated indirectly, influenced through poisoned data, or steered through incentive structures that no one fully understands. This means an adversary does not need access to capital or governance. They only need access to learning pathways. In that environment, insider threat takes on a new meaning. The insider may not be a person. It may be a system that has learned the organization's priorities better than the organization itself. For boards, this creates uncomfortable accountability questions. How do you oversee systems that evolve faster than reporting cycles? How do you assign responsibility when outcomes are probabilistic rather than intentional? How do you disclose risk that you cannot precisely bound? These are not technical questions. They are governance questions. The mistake many organizations are making is assuming that AI risk can be solved with model audits, ethical guidelines, or procurement controls. These measures, while necessary, do not address the core issue. Agency changes power. Once systems can act, coordinate, and influence at scale, the enterprise must be viewed as a human-machine ecosystem, one where trust, authority, and decision rights are distributed, often invisibly. The companies that will struggle are not those that adopt AI. They are the ones that fail to understand where human judgment quietly disappeared. The companies that will endure are those that treat AI not as a productivity layer, but as a new class of actor that must be governed, constrained, and continuously examined, just like a human. In future spotlights, we will look more closely at how organizations can identify trust dependencies inside automated systems, stress test AI-driven decision paths, and understand where enterprise value is silently being reshaped. Because in the age of agentive AI, risk no longer announces itself. It behaves, it learns, and it compounds. This is GDR Spotlight.